I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey y'all, we're back on Below Deck, episode 4, Baby on Board. There is so much to talk about. But first, let's introduce our hosts. One, I'm Akilah, Ffriend. I'm your host for today. And I want Parker to look at me the way he looks at Paget when he says chicken fried steak. We also have to my left, Nate Harris. He's still trying to decide between Madison and Georgia. Let's see who wins out.
I love them both.
Yes. Next to him, we have Amir Yassai, who was also once a 1-month-old baby, like our newest guest.
That's my best baby noise.
Yes. And lastly, we have the fabulous Elizabeth Pena, who was ghosted by a ginger.
He was more of a daywalker, actually.
Oh, go producer!
Listen. And we have our producer back on the beats, back ready to make it happen. Well, today, so much has happened on episode 4, again, called Baby on Board for Good Reason. We're going to be talking about Jenna, Georgia, Madison, and their whole work dynamic or lack thereof. We'll be talking about Parker being miserable, and also about Paget and Ciara, and our favorite guest to date, the baby. And then we'll move on to the news for the day, which is, Jenna's clap back. If you haven't read about it, Nate is going to be here to describe it all to you. And talking about what kind of jobs on deck that we might like. We'll have a special segment headed out by Amir and Elizabeth before we move on into next week's predictions. So before we start, let's just say, what are y'all thoughts about? What do you think about the show, this episode?
Before we even start, we have to give a round of applause to how amazing that intro was. I'm sorry, I can't go any further. I want the show to be over with. That intro was amazing. Okay. Anywho,
I appreciate that.
The show was great.
Teamwork.
It wasn't that entertaining. I mean, it was, but I'm really just frustrated with the leadership, and I hate talking about Adam and Jenna because I know that they're people. But
yes, they are.
I just don't.
Heard it here first.
Are they? Can we question that? Are they actually people?
They're
Not good people.
But I don't like their leadership. I don't like how they're leading. And even when it came to Paget, like he's a leader and a boss, quote unquote. But I don't like the way that he's leading as well. I think that their leadership definitely needs to change. I know you have to be on these people, but the way I think about leading is. I make myself uncomfortable so you are comfortable so you can be great at what you do for me.
That's
you know,
good.
and so
That's
I felt like they continue to put them in uncomfortable situations, and so that's my overall thoughts. That's what I'm about today. I'm coming at you guys. So
Coming
I'm
back with a quote from Georgia: respect existence or expect resistance.
I was gonna take it over, Robin.
Finish it right there. I was like, I know you remember it.
Dramatic pauses. I love it.
Yeah, so far it's still annoying just watching them bicker. Paget and Ciara are getting so annoying. I'm sorry. The baby just had to top the cherry on top, and I was like, I've heard this song before. The wah. I was like, no, I'm so over it. I'm like, I love kids, have nieces and nephews, but I just would not bring a 1-month-old to the yacht.
Not even a 1-year-old.
Yeah, not even a 1-year-old.
Crazy.
What was it like? Is that legal?
But this 1-month-old baby is way better than a lot of other guests that we've seen, which is crazy. You're just like, I'm just gonna take my naps. I'll cry a little bit, but I have no dietary restrictions. I have no curfew. I'm just here.
I'm here living my life.
Living my life.
Speaking about living my life, I want to make sure everyone knows I don't work on a boat because I look like I'm wearing uniform. It's like a gay version of the boat. So I just want to get that out there for anyone that's commenting in a shady manner. So I gotta come for them, But I actually really enjoyed this episode. So I kind of disagree with Nate. I thought it was quite entertaining. I think they had a hard time starting the show. I think they were still trying to get to know everyone, but now we have dynamics.
Yeah.
And I think the way that Jenna came for Georgia, it's good TV. It's not a good thing to do. She's not a good person, but it was good TV. I love my girl Georgia, but
That's
it was good TV.
Well, you know what? Let's dive into that. About Jenna, Georgia, and Madison. As we've seen on this episode, Georgia is trying to step up in the ranks of being a stewardess, but Jenna is like, you are not making the cut. You're not ready. You're not prepared. And Madison is kind of floating by at this point. She's not necessarily the star of the show, but she's not when it comes to stewarding, but she's not the worst either. And I think now she's starting to feel the pressure also. So what did you think about their overall dynamic and Jenna?
So Madison's a really great friend. That's what I've seen so far. She has a great work ethic. She doesn't like slack off or anything. I feel like she's holding the crew together, if anything.
She's like the glue.
Yeah, like when Parker was down, she's over here like, you know, making sure he's fine. She even like slept with him. That was so cute.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
Like actually slept with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To be very
There was no sex, no P&D.
Yes, as friends,
Right.
no same bed, no same bunkie or whatever it's called. Yeah, and Parker, I feel so bad for him still. Like,
Yeah,
he's
we gonna get to
actually
Parker, girl, but we doing
trying, but,
Jenna,
you know,
Georgia.
we're doing Jenna.
Madison. She really feels bad for Parker.
Parker, man, I got you
appreciate.
if you need a shoulder to cry on. But no, Jenna, you know, she has to do her job, and that's the thing. Like, I respect that a lot about her, but she's still like, she needs to find ways to talk to her crew. And that's where I'm like, you know, you need a little attitude change, girl.
And I think it goes back to what Nate was saying earlier about how to lead. Like, she's obviously the type of leader that almost likes fear, enjoys it. And I'm trying to think of how was she brought up? Because I'm sure someone showed her the ropes. You know, when people want to look back and feel like you did it all by yourself, you were pulled yourself up by your bootstraps, and you've had perhaps all the help in the world. So what's it to say, hey, okay, you may not know where Adam's cloak or whatever is. Let me help you find it. Or you may not be folding these towels right. Let me help you do that. And then do it the first time. But if you have to do it the second and third time, then I understand if you decide to change up. But I feel like she was almost too hard on Georgia, and I'm wondering if this is a jealousy thing or if this is truly I'm doing my job. You know what I mean?
It's doing my job. Because if you watch past seasons, so we have Kate Chastain and Hannah, and they operate in the same manner. There's this weird thing in yachting where it's like you should know where everything is.
Yeah.
You should know how it runs. You should know what's up. And that happened with Ciara too. She was like, you guys moved everything on the boat.
Yeah.
And you expect me to know where it is. So I think that like a lot of times these chief stews had been, like you said, hazed, or they've been treated, like kind of mistreated, and now they're like kind of passing that on.
Right.
But the guests, unfortunately, they pay so much to be on the boat. If their tip is not much, how much are they paying?
True.
So they expect a certain level of customer service. So I think that it is just kind of the way it's set up, unfortunately. Yeah.
And I agree with you, and I agree with all you guys. And what it was
We're telling you in.
no, I'm agreeing with you guys, but I'm going the opposite way, okay? I did a devil advocate, okay?
Yeah, that was too nice.
Yeah. But the first episode, Janice calls her own self the B word. What's a different word? So I'm not on here calling her a bitch. Like, what's a better word?
A bitch. You gotta
she
add
called
the I.
herself that. Like, she
betch.
called herself.
Betch.
Yeah, like, she called herself the bitch. Okay, then the second episode.
Love hearing you say that.
Bitch. The second episode, I was like, well, it seems like she's a sweetheart. Like, she actually isn't a bitch. It's coming out now completely.
She's only nice to one person.
She's only
Yeah,
nice to
she's trying to
one
get the
person.
Yes.
You know, and so that's kind of where I really get frustrated. Be a leader and yell at your crew. Everyone leads differently, so that's fine. But when you're going, you're just gossiping like, "Hey, I just made her cry. Hey, I just did this, and
That's
this
a good
just happened."
point.
It's like, why are we doing this? Your energy needs to be okay. Clearly, they're not getting something. I'm a big person on intent. Okay, so like if I'm working for something, I understand production pays the bills. I used to always use that in football. Like production pays the bills. You can be trying as hard as you can, but if you're not making plays, you're not gonna play.
Right.
We're not gonna win. You're gonna be on the bench. Okay.
Yeah.
But I also believe in a lot in intent. So when you're new, just like we'll get to Parker, but like when it's someone like Georgia, and this is like kind of one of her first times doing these things, it's not like, yes, she's gonna be slow at things. Yes, it's gonna be harder. Yes, so it's like, why aren't we giving her that?
Yeah.
But the reason why I understand you guys is because it is TV and it is cutting. So we aren't seeing a lot of things that we could be seeing. And we're just seeing the hot thing where Jen is like just getting on her. She may really be bad at what she's doing.
Who knows?
And they're not completely showing all those things. You know what I'm saying?
And
so,
this is the industry.
Yeah.
This is, like he's saying, this is the industry. And it's kind of like, and I think the reason why she knows she can confide in Adam is because it seems like that's what happens in the food industry as well. Like, we all know Gordon Ramsay, not try to shout you out, but there's a hierarchy and there's almost a respect thing when you're able to clap back and you're able to, kind of belittle others. But I wouldn't feel any type of way if Jenna just did that consistently. But the fact that she goes back and tells Adam, you're also creating a dynamic where Adam feels entitled to talk about Georgia, who's your second in command or whatever else. So you should, at the end of the day, be like any parent, I can yell at my kids. You can't yell at my kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be able to feel that way. But
he went too far. I thought he went too far. He said, like, can her, let's get her into pulp.
Right.
I was like, and I think the fact that she was there, it's production. Like Nate said, I also played football, believe it or not. Yeah, so I'm a very good quarterback, honey. Yes, honey, I can throw the football across and I can sleep with some football.
I
It is
feel
what
like-
it is. But I think that what it really is, when I mean, all jokes aside, but when it comes to this whole production thing, they set her up. She's I mean, come on, how many shots they had to get to finally get her walking in on the conversation? Come on, Bravo.
I actually will come down a little bit on Jenna. I still love you, girl. I mean, I love the other two better, but
I know. I was like, calm down.
If anything,
Well,
I think,
I'm not gonna be attacking her. Like,
Sure,
I
I
understand. But again, leadership styles are just different. So I just
different.
like, if she doesn't know washer and dryer, which Jenna didn't know, but like, just teach her, okay?
Right.
And then again, if it keeps coming, then yell at her, make her feel stupid.
then you have
make
a
her-
problem.
Then do that.
Right.
I like what you're saying, that if anything, they're lacking just getting trained.
Yeah.
Because
There's no time, hun. Like,
Yeah.
when would they train? And that's the thing. Like, they've always said
even
that.
little things like when Jenna is talking to Georgia like rudely, you could just pull her aside and be like, hey, like maybe there's some things you may not know how to do, but we can teach you real quick, real fast. You know, it doesn't take. She said it's not like rocket science. You know.
I know, but can I play devil's advocate real quick? Like, what I love my girl Kate Chastain.
Yeah.
She's everything. Like, she's tweeted this many times throughout all the seasons she's been on. She's like, we don't have time between production and guest demands and making the captain happy. There's no time to pull someone aside and be like,
I
do you
completely
get it?
agree with
Especially
that.
if you're crying. It's like,
I completely
sorry,
agree with
honey,
that.
your skin's not thick enough. See ya.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that, I would be the same.
I think that the time thing is serious because it's
Yeah.
like probably in between. If they ever had some downtime when the guests were not on board, I can take you aside and really teach you. I just think it's the way she says it, but
Definitely.
it's the way she says it. But at the same time, it goes back to if this was real, everything was real, nothing was casted or anything like that. She would never be hired because it's like if you don't know what you're doing, we can't have you on this top chartered yacht with premier A-level guests. Like you just won't.
They lie on their resumes, Akilah. That's another thing.
Ooh,
So
that's-
throughout the season,
that's
they
something
lie
I've
on
done
their
before.
resumes.
Oh
Yep.
well, you know what?
But you weren't in charge of people's lives, were you?
people's food.
You were in
That's
charge
true.
of
Oh,
I didn't know
where
how
did you
to
work? I'm not even there.
I did not know how to even make coffee. So imagine these girls running around like not knowing how to do stuff.
Well, they've gotten
Right.
caught before too in the past season.
That's
So I wonder if
hilarious.
anyone's gonna get caught because there's a whole resigning thing that we've seen.
Oh,
So someone might get caught
right.
lying on their resume because a lot of them say I've been on this boat and I've been on that boat, and it's like
Have
you
you
would know how to
really?
do this. This
Right.
is basic stuff. So I don't know.
I feel like
I
they
don't
should at least go on board for a day, like not doing anything.
About
and
9 months.
a day, come on, like you can last a day and just like observe, and then it doesn't make it any easier that guests have the most craziest requests.
Right.
So
Oof,
yeah,
that
so
makes it
I
hard.
can see how that can be like annoying to have to like, oh, I have to do this, but no, they need this now, like
Well, you know what? We I'm sure we'll be able to speak about this more and more because there are going to be tons of content between Jenna, Georgia, and Madison because they're all kind of type A personalities.
They are.
But Madison, my girl, she had things to say earlier.
She had things to say, honey.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you guys off. I'm so sorry to cut you guys off.
It was a perfect segue.
That was like
It was a perfect segue.
Okay, go ahead, sweetie. What
Our
is it?
host, our lead.
He's
is amazing.
indefinable. You can't see his
Okay.
sweater.
Yes.
Indefinable.
Indefinable. Okay.
Indefinable.
This may
hear
be
it.
the stupidest question in America. I don't believe in
Please.
stupid questions. What is a type A personality?
That is a stupid question.
I know it is.
No, I'm with you,
Titles
Nate.
are-
I don't know
I'm
that.
confused.
It's not.
I'm
But
kidding.
it's all relative. But usually type A's are the ones who love everything super organized, super their way or the highway. It's very much rules are their dogma. If we're not following X or Y, Z, then I'm in a frenzy.
Like Adam, he said that.
Yeah.
Yes, he
And
said
oftentimes they have to be in charge in a sense because they don't know how to really go with the flow. They don't know how to take rules. They're just bossy.
I'm type A.
All right.
Are you? Okay.
Give me the
type A.
ball.
Type A
I'm
ladies
just-
and
Yes.
play football. This is the new bachelor.
You know what? The other thing is,
Uh-huh.
type A's generally don't say they're type A's unless they, are finally in that predicament. So it's funny how I said everything. You're like, oh, that's
Yeah,
me.
that might
That's
be
me.
me.
That's me.
That's
Well,
me.
I mean, we're not talking about me right now.
I was like, is this a name show?
Yes, we're not talking about me. I was just really curious. No, because I always hear type A, type B. I hear, but I'm like,
No.
what is
What
that?
is
It's a great
Actually,
question.
yeah,
Well,
it's
what
great. It's
Adam
relative,
showed,
too.
Adam also showed
Yeah.
how type A he is. He went to the
Yes.
captain and
Yes.
said, like, we can't be sailing. I need to cook.
I
So
need to
that's
cook.
very type A.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right, so
sorry
for
that I
all
messed
those
up
who
the perfect-
who heard this, type A, now we know.
Now we know what's up.
Yes.
Speaking of someone that is type A, Madison, so my girl, she's type A in a fun way, though. So she's kind of taken, and like, even the way she tweets, like, we talk so regularly, she's always updating, she's interacting with fans. And she told me, she literally said, because we were talking about Nate's photo that he liked of Georgia, there it is, yes, honey, looking
yes.
cute. So they had posted this photo, but then Georgia didn't love the way she looked, so Madison had taken it down. So Madison said, my girl didn't feel like the absolute knockout that she is in the photo. That's the only reason I posted a different one. And she, tagged Georgia. So it wasn't about you, Nate.
I know, I was so hurt. Cause I was like, okay, I
wasn't about
commented
you.
and I said, I can't wait to see you guys
Right.
tonight.
Yeah.
And then the picture's gone. And I was like, I'm about to show my friends, like, they liked it and everything, and then now the picture's gone. So,
But you know what? You know what lives forever? Our page on AfterBuzz TV. We'll be posting, obviously, this episode and so much more every week where we talk about Below Deck. Feel free to engage with the conversation. Be like our girl Madison. Be like Georgia, whoever else. And watch, like, subscribe, engage with us. It makes it all the more fun. And who knows, Amir might be talking about you next week. But you know who I don't want to talk about, we have to. Parker's miserable ass. Let's talk about Parker.
I want to talk about
I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, Parker, like, you need a Jenna in your life to tell you to
He's being the
pull it
best
together.
Parker he can be, okay?
Is he? Right. Is
Jinx,
he?
is he?
So Parker,
back up.
shade.
Wait, so you're against Parker?
Yeah.
I'm not fully
I
against
got so
him.
much fun, girl.
Yes,
Let's
I'm
do
not
it
against
again.
him. But
Let's do
all right,
it.
let's talk about the pros. Why is Parker feels the need to be super emotional about the fact that he just needs to do a better job?
Well, first of all, he just went through a breakup. Katie.
How
with
long
a
ago was that?
K-A-I-T-I.
T.I. It was like Tahiti, but a girl. I was like,
All right.
Well, I feel, guys sometimes take forever to get over a breakup. And clearly, sailing is like his go-to to get over the breakup.
That's not his
So-
go-to, child. That's
Okay, so maybe he's trying to have that as his go-to, and it's clearly not working.
He's trying to
because
escape
still,
it or
Yeah,
something?
I think he's still in the mix of it, and he's
Okay.
trying to work, but it's just not working.
yeah.
But that's all we're saying. We're not saying that we're against him.
Right.
I think we're all kind of agreeing he's not doing the job at hand.
Right.
I like Parker. I think he's funny. He had the wedgie comment.
Yes.
Him and Madison have a cute flirtation. But you should kind of stake your claim. You are, bunkmates with Adam. If you wake him up once, you don't sleep in the mess.
Yes.
When he slept in the mess hall, it made him look stupid.
It made him look weak, too.
No
Yes.
backbone. And
And he was waking up for work. Just, obviously you guys watched the episode,
Sure.
but he was waking up to do night watch, and Adam, I guess heard the alarm go off, and he slammed the door while Parker was leaving, and, Adam couldn't get over it.
shamed him.
Couldn't get
finally
over it.
for getting up. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to the whole type A thing we were talking about. Nate has some opinions. His face
Yeah,
is
the
really...
face is like, I'm going to let y'all finish.
No, we're done. We're done. The face. I can't talk with that face.
No, you can't. I don't want to do that.
Child, tell me what you want.
Yes.
Please.
Parker, I honestly, because you guys, my face was like that because you guys did give me a different perspective. Because you guys are right. He needed to have more of a backbone. I agree. But I'm kind of like him in those situations. Everything that I'm doing is wrong.
Oh, Nate.
You're telling me to do this. I do it and it's wrong. Okay, I'm trying.
Sorry, Nate. I did my own sound.
So it's like he has to get up at 4:30 to go out to the deck. Why is Adam mad at that?
I know it's our after show, but I'm so intrigued by Nate. Everywhere you're doing stuff wrong, like life, personal.
no, he's talking about Parker.
Oh, you're talking about Mark. Okay,
Yeah,
you said you relate so much. So I was like, what's happening?
No, I'm saying like if I had an authority figure in this situation, it's
Sure.
like you're telling me what to do. I'm trying to do it the correct way. I'm not doing it right, and then you guys got all this what to say. It's like, but again,
You almost feel ganged up on.
I'm ganged up on. So now
He
at this
was
point,
with Glenn and Ciara and Paget.
And Paget.
And he had was it Byron or Paget?
It was
Yeah.
Byron. Well, Byron didn't even. Oh no, even Byron said
No,
something.
even Byron said you shouldn't have the chamois.
Wow, when Byron has to say something.
It's bad.
so
because
again,
he did say I have to have the chamois at all times. He's like,
Right.
it shouldn't be visible. But
Yes.
those are mixed messages.
Right, but it shouldn't be visible. And the thing is, I feel like the first thing that happened with the whole Adam situation, that shouldn't have rocked you so much where you're moping around throughout the night. Everyone's out to have a good time and you're just wearing your emotions on your sleeve, which is a beautiful thing to see. Like, you don't want to bottle everything up, but he's like wearing it into a way where he wants people to ask him what's wrong and then he wouldn't really share it. And I'm like, is this an attention thing or are you truly mad? Do you not know how to express yourself? I have no idea.
He was
So
like this. He was like,
yeah, you know,
sad.
but you know
when
you're sad in the corner and you don't want anyone to say what's wrong or you don't want anyone to acknowledge that you're sad. It's like, shouldn't you have stayed home? Like,
when's his birthday though, Akilah? Is he a Gemini?
Is he a Cancer?
Because I'm a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini. We are fine. Oh,
When, June 11th?
June 12th.
Sorry. We're getting off track. But
okay.
Geminis, I don't know about you, but I turn off. Like,
Yeah.
I turn off. I can turn off
Yeah.
and I can relate to that.
Well, yeah, and that's what, because like, back to football. I'm not talking about myself, you know.
But we all want to imagine you throwing
Right,
football.
literally.
If I had a bad game, that's just who I am. And so in this setting, I think he was
seriously.
forced to be there. You know, I understand like stay home because that's a great perspective.
Right.
Like, don't make everyone else feel uncomfortable because you're in that state.
He has to jump off the boat.
Yeah, like, you know. But I think he's forced to be there. Again, I also. Production, you know, who knows how much he really was wearing that sleeve. He might have just been quiet that day and everyone noticed it because he's usually a talker, you know. But I like what Madison said about the situation. It's like, I just try to let him be him in that moment. Like, we sometimes just feel your feelings.
Madison's a sweetheart.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Such a
that's
sweetheart.
how don't bother me when I'm mad. Let me just be mad. I promise you, I'm gonna get over it. But the more you keep asking me, what's wrong? What's wrong? Why you
Don't
mad?
try to
Why
hug
you
me.
point.
Like,
That's a
Georgia,
good point.
don't hug him.
Well, it's also
I get
because
it.
he's surrounded around people he's not like super, familiar and friendly with. So he probably needs to just go home and just get his life together.
Like, quit the show?
We were hinting at somebody might leave or got fired.
I hope it's not him though, because I feel like he has a lot of growing to do on this show too, and with the yacht. Like, I feel like it would be a good experience for him. But it was that, and then coupled with the next day of how Paget, out of everyone, is telling him things multiple times, and he's just not getting it. He's chatting with the guests. That seems like forever.
You know what I think?
Yeah.
Paget is taking out
Your
his
waiting face is
aggression off of, Ciara and him bickering. I feel like he's taking it out on Parker. And it's showing. Because, like, he has no one else to take it out on but Ciara.
Right. But he talks to Ciara like that too, but Ciara's like, I'm not taking it. But I think there needs to be a healthy balance because Ciara needs to understand that that's his boss, but then Parker also needs to recognize that, I'm doing the best I can, but it's not necessarily good enough.
I want to know why it was so bad for him to just even bring up the vacuum up the glass thing. Why was that a big deal? I'm really curious.
In front of the guests.
In front of the guests.
Oh,
and I think
okay.
it wasn't, but
She's wrong.
Jenna
You're right.
didn't explain it like it was in front of the guests. She just didn't like him telling her what to do, period.
Yeah,
and that's
I didn't
how,
notice that.
and the fact that she had to go all the way to the captain for that, I was like, oh no, that's a girl I can't trust on my job. Like,
That's actually the only thing I like to
Yes.
Akilah. You know why? Because when you're at that higher position, like, she took it to the top just because it wouldn't get muddled. And I think she did that so she wouldn't go to Adam. Maybe that was her. Instead of going to Adam, maybe she in her mind was like, okay, this is not a big enough deal to make it. But I think
I feel like she should have went to Paget because Paget is his boss. You know what I mean?
got
But
you, I got you.
you jumped and went to the captain.
Okay.
Who's like overseeing everything to tell me about a vacuum. As the captain, I'd be like, that's not my business right now. Like, don't tell me this. Try to shut it down a little bit. But I don't know.
So yeah, I understand, but
But Glenn's having a little more of a backbone though, talking about that, because he did, when Adam came to him and said, let's stop saying I'm cooking, he said no.
Right.
And I was like, oh, he put on it. He's not wearing the cargo shorts anymore, honey. So I was impressed with that. And I think, again, not to keep going back to the vacuum, but the reason I want to bring it up again is because I think the vacuum is a deeper thing. It's him undermining her as a woman. Ooh. I don't think he would have said that to a male boss.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I think it was to me. Like him being like, have you ever thought of getting, it was kind of a little condescending, like, she's of course thought of it. They either don't have the budget or they have nowhere to put it, or it's clunky. There's a reason they didn't buy that.
Yeah.
It's like when someone goes to a restaurant, have you thought about putting more tables outside? Duh. They own the place. You know what I mean? So I think that he thought he was being clever.
I don't even know if it's strictly a woman. I love that you love it.
I love perspective. Like,
But it's great just to hear different dynamics.
Because I'm looking at it from like, I didn't think that he was being anything. He was just like a suggestion. I just want to help. Like, maybe you have thought about this.
I was thinking
why that? I'm just trying to.
I think that that's his personality though, because I don't think it was necessarily because she was a woman, because he said the same thing where he's like, he always wants to explain himself. So even with the, I don't know if it was chamois, whatever the rag was, chamois.
Chamoy was called chamoy.
Chamois, whatever that was. Like, he wanted to explain why he's talking to the guests that long. He wants to explain why he's just defending himself in a sense. So, like, even the whole vacuum thing, he's just like, well, this is probably a reason why this is the problem that it is. So,
but then it got worse because then he kind of went back to her and was like, well, I gotta check in with my superior to answer you about the beach in front of that poor Nana. I don't know why she was there. She was trying to move in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, separate question though. In those situations, do you think Parker's right when he says, well, these guests are talking to me? What am I supposed to do? Just walk away and say, sorry? You know,
I think he was so polite
he
with
was
that.
right. I think he was right.
Tell me. What's your
100%
opinion?
right.
He was wrong. I've worked as a publicist for 8 years, done events. People are blabbermouths. They need a therapist.
Right.
So you need to wrap people up. You need to learn to do a compliment sandwich, Parker. Parker,
how
this is
do
for
you-
you. This
how
is how
would
you do
you
it,
wrap
babe.
it up? How would
I
you
got
wrap
you.
it up? Give
I
us
got
a-
you. I'm gonna tell you. Parker, listen. This is what you do. So the guest is talking. You go, I love having this conversation with you. It's fabulous. Having you on this boat is wonderful. I got to get to work to make sure you have the best experience you can ever have.
All right.
And I can't wait to talk later.
Great.
And that's
Done.
it.
Great
And
response.
that's it. That's all right.
Now, my question is, my next question is, who on the boat taught him to do that? Because he's new. He doesn't know this.
My thing is, and that goes back to the whole thing where it's like, if you want amateurs on your boat, you need to deal with amateurs on your boat. If you want professionals,
But they may not be
then you
upset
can. Then you
about it.
can't be talking like, you know, these people are top notch who had years of experience when they had two, and probably just had a breakup and they said, okay, my go-to therapy is to be on your boat and doing your job.
I got you.
You know, you're
I
gonna
got
get
you.
these. You're gonna get these responses. So if you want to hire these people and you want to have these people rolling around with you, you're gonna have to deal with it.
But are they hiring these people because they're kind of good at their jobs, but they look good on TV? Because there's probably people that are very experienced, but are like, how do you feel? I feel good.
Right.
No one wants to see
It's
that
too
interview.
experienced. It's too experienced, right? It's that in between, and it's even the folks who seem to be in charge. Like Paget, I feel like needs a few years. Jenna probably's got it, but you just need a little people training.
People boot camp.
People boot camp, but so it's a dynamic, but I don't have a transition. Let's talk about
Some rough seas, honey.
but it's rough seas. Let's talk about also Paget and Ciara. I want to really dive into this. We're probably going to do this on episode 5, episode 6, episode 7, episode 8, but there's always so much good things here. Like, what can we say about Paget and Ciara this time? I feel like, for one, it's crazy. Just them digging the sand. I'm like, I just almost wanted to jump in there because I'm like, I can't hear them argue anymore. Like, what do you think about this dynamic?
But Akilah, they're so good about quickly repairing it, which I don't know if it's healthy or not. I'm not a psychologist, but I don't know if it's so good to bicker, say really mean things, and then say I'm, effing pissed, and then be like, I love and support you, and I'm so happy you're in my life. Like in the bunk, they have all these tender moments in between the bickering. Is that healthy? I really don't know.
Yeah.
But they are repairing it very quickly, and they're not holding grudges. I don't think so. And Ciara does nag a lot, and men do not like to be nagged.
Yeah.
No man likes that. So you gotta go to your girlfriend. She has no girlfriends on the boat.
She's
not
probably
tight.
the key.
That she needs like a friend that's a girl or something.
But the friend that's a girl that could be her girl seems like she wants her man. So I would not be talking to Georgia like that, because it seems like Georgia is really, there's one thing, that little healthy flirtation, but that's too much.
I don't think
that's
Georgia's flirting so much back.
What? Georgia
I
is
don't
flirting.
I don't see. I think she tries to just.
Liz, I'm gonna wheel you off the stage, girl.
The way I see it is
What?
Georgia is like just talking back to Paget because she has to. It's like,
Have you been watching the
he's throwing
episode?
things. He's throwing things at her, but I don't think she's catching it. I really don't. If
She literally put the toga on him, and she was like, "Ooh, your arms," and then she was talking about
Literally.
having children.
She initiates the conversation, it seems like. When
But
she
if
even
anything,
talks about his
Paget
hair.
tries to make it about like.
Something else.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
No.
Like, no,
Because
Georgia
as
does
a
flirt,
girl,
but I
I
get what
have
you're
guy
saying.
friends that all like say little things like, to feel them, gas them up.
Right.
But I don't consider that flirting back. So
Gassing them up is not flirting them up. Is not flirting.
It's not. It's just adding.
That
to,
is a synonym.
Girl, they're on a small boat. Your friends go to their separate apartments. They're on a small yacht. They have no space. They're on there for months. Everybody's horny, honey. And you're gassing up a guy with a
But
relationship.
Paget is in the wrong.
I'm with you. Paget is in the wrong. Georgia is flirting, but
Nate, you're in Switzerland today, honey.
no, but
No,
Georgia is flirting, but I get what you're saying, that like, I don't think it's so much like, I want this man and let me try to get him. She just says her little comments. And then Paget is just like, let me take it to the next level. I think that.
Well, he shouldn't have said the whole, I'm not going to have a kid with a ginger.
Yeah.
I think before that happened, Georgia was the one who said, "Oh, you're flirting." She called him out the flirting, like really, not in a way like stop doing it, but she just kind of brought in Ciara saying, "Oh, is this the flirting that you guys do together?" Blah blah blah. Like, if don't talk about me and my girl, like, and then you're trying to. That's a way of flirting too, to see how the waters are with y'all two.
And he's laughing. And to a man, a elbow touch is an open invitation. So don't be stupid. Like, it's just, come on.
No, to a man just looking at him is flirting.
She looked at my direction. You were ordering your coffee, sir.
But what I've noticed though, because remember he started talking about how he really didn't have friends growing up.
He
lived on a barge. What's a barge?
I think that's what's messing up their dynamic of their relationship. It's always been just them two.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've always been in a relationship on a yacht.
Yeah, but it's just those two. Now there's other people, and he's like,
and he likes the attention.
There's other girls around this world. There's other, so that, and then also the fact that.
Can I say one thing about that? I think the fact that he's getting that attention is maybe because he hasn't gotten it from other women. He's been in this relationship, and Madison even said he had the sex appeal of a potato. Oh, so Madison came for her castmate, honey, and listen, I was there for it because Paget is a Monet. From afar, it looks good. Don't get too close. So I think that now some girl as pretty as Georgia, who has this very exotic accent, who knows where she's from.
Right.
And we love it. We're here for it.
So how does someone like that end up saying that he will never want to have kids with his girlfriend because she's a ginger at
that? That was discrimination.
Like, that was intense. And it wasn't even like a little LOL haha after that. He was like, full stop. I don't want kids with a ginger. Like,
how old
that's
is
what it is.
Do we know how old he is? Because he's
that's
4
a good
years older
question.
than
We'll
her.
figure it out for next episode.
He's either 26 or 45.
Or
Oh, 4 years older. That's true. They met when I think she was 18 and he was 22.
Oh, we made
but
fun
I
of
don't
that,
know.
remember?
But I don't know what their age is now. Could be 28.
26?
Yeah,
4 years together?
Yeah.
22.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, in these situations when these guys, when his mind is elsewhere right now. And so he's okay with making these comments just to play around with
Where's his mind?
He's getting more attention.
His mind's between her legs.
With Georgia.
I was waiting for Ciara to just bury him when they were like trying to get that fire.
She just hit him in the head.
But that's the thing. She's being very passive aggressive in that sense. So it's definitely going to boil up because she heard that comment. And if I was Ciara, you don't want a kid with who?
But remember, she's going to see this in 6 months.
Well, maybe
When
that's
she
why
sees
she
another
doesn't.
woman this? Oh.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like you're giving this person on the outside of your relationship the
Georgia's
upper
going to
hand.
tell her. That's my prediction. I think, I know we're not there yet, but I'm going to say Georgia's going to tell her.
Wow. Okay, speaking of babies, though, we have our I'm like, we're going to get into that. But speaking of babies, we have, a 1 month on board as one of the guests. Like, I don't even understand this, but cheers to that woman who was able to bring her child on board and was ready to go. It's nothing I would do.
Akilah, we are all people of color here. None of us would do it. I am not trying. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. We would not bring our 1 month old honey. Come on now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But you know what? That's all we got to say about the baby. That's the length of time that this baby has been on Earth. We're just going to give them 1 second. 1 second for that 1 month. Yes. And let's move on to our special segment, which we talk about what jobs do we want to have on deck. Let's take it away.
Yes. All right, so we all know all the stews, all the decks on hand, even the captain. Out of all those jobs, what job would be your favorite, or even the best that you would be able to perform?
So this boat doesn't have a bosun, but other boats have a bosun, which is basically above the deck. So it's like the overseer of all the decks. So it's kind of like Paget's job, kind of, but it's a bit more authoritative, and they actually get to sit in on all the when they do the evaluation of the new guests coming on board. So I like to be part of the top echelon, honey. I don't want to work. I don't want to see people's dirty condoms in the toilet. No, thank you. So I'm not interested in cleaning toilets and all that. And I know you have to work your way up, but I don't want to.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna be bosun.
I feel it.
I'm captain.
All right. No information. You can't talk about authority. This man, Nate. Period. That's it. Captain Nate. I would probably be like Paget. I feel like I just want some air. If I'm just is down below deck cooking sandwiches and cleaning and ironing, I feel like this is not the place for me. At least with Paget, you get to do some activity. You get to tell other folks what to do. You get to put sails and you get some fresh air. You know, this is what's part of being in the Mediterranean. That's what it's all about.
See, I'm all about being Chief Stew just because I want to call the shots and I have compassion. I am very sympathetic and I feel like I would not put people through worse situations that they're already in. So, yeah.
We don't know what flirting is, so that might get in some hot water with some guests, honey.
And I'm not a flirter.
Well,
but you are, though. You don't know what flirting is. You're going to be flirting with all the guests. You're gassing them up, honey.
I know.
Listen. Well, tell us what you guys would be in the comments. Definitely let us know. But in terms of flirtation, honey, we heard a little clapback that happened in the news, and I want Nate to take it away. Tell us what happened.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, a lot of fans have been attacking Jenna for all of her flirtation with Adam.
Yes.
She's not being professional, and again, she's going and she's telling Adam everything. She's not leading properly. This isn't my word. Do not shoot the messenger. This is what the fans are saying right now. So Jenna, being the type A personality that she is, she decided to go to Twitter to defend herself. And she says this: believe it or not, a woman in charge can be both good at her job and have a love interest. I agree. If a woman is flirting at work, suddenly her capabilities to be a boss are in question now. Last time I checked, the majority of the world have jobs and a partner. Go figure.
Okay.
Wait. She wasn't done. She was not done.
Supportive snap. That's it.
She was not done. She said, and to add to that, the primary focus of my particular job is guest satisfaction.
Okay, she took a turn for the worse when she added that little part.
I like her.
I
We're evoking the snap. We're evoking the snap.
You mean Adam's satisfaction?
You need Adam's satisfaction. Right.
Satisfaction. That's why they're mad at you, girl.
Right, and you were getting no tips for that flirt, so take it on back.
I call cap.
You were getting no
That's all
tips.
cap.
That's all.
But again, I'm going to say if Adam, I don't think people are coming for Adam as much as they are with her, and he's equally flirting, and it's inappropriate as well. But I just think that's the misogyny, and that's being harder on a woman. I'm just going to say that again.
You know what? I'm so sad we gotta wrap this one up a little quicker, but we have talked about so much this episode, and believe it or not, I want to talk about this subject some more. So whether it be we'll be on some of our social media handles, in the comments, literally talk to us about this, because we gotta talk about Jenna and her macking ways. We gotta talk about Adam, and I want to really make sure that we really delve into this. So honestly, I'm sure the flirtation won't stop. So if we don't talk about it in the comments, we'll bring it back up in episode 5 recap for sure. So before we end today, I want to talk about some of the predictions. We kind of flirted around this a little bit.
AfterBuzz TV
But
predictions.
what did you guys think is going to happen next episode?
Ooh, the
Liz,
baby.
it's all you.
We were talking about how the baby might just somehow lead to with that conversation of was it Paget breastfeeding? Parker. Oh, also, I want to make the prediction that Byron's gonna be more entertaining. I feel like you've seen the dad side of him, and now I feel like his personality is gonna come out more.
He needs to get drunk. We need him to get drunk.
We need
Just
him to
might.
get drunk. Yeah.
What do you think?
First of all, they need to go to a club. I'm bored of the dinners and back to the boat. Nothing's happening. Nobody's hooking up. They need alcohol. That first night, I get it. Jenna went too far, but I think that they need to party more. So my prediction is we're going to get a hookup. We're going to get Parker and Madison. They had that sweet little moment in the mess hall. I think there's going to be a hookup. There has to be something about the P and the V thing. Yeah. So that's my prediction. And I think the baby is going to learn how to swim. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, I rebuke your statement. Parker and Madison are not hooking up. We're not advocating for that or putting that into the universe.
I don't see that either.
I wonder why Nate is saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying that's my prediction. Okay,
May not happen then.
have our
But
own
you know who will hook up?
predictions.
We saw literally the clip saying that Adam finally says that he likes Jenna. So that might be the hookup for next week, and that'll bring us right back to this tweet because we are going to talk about it. But until then, so glad. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Akilah Ffriend. You can find me on Instagram at Akilah Ffriend with 2 Fs. Nate, take it away.
I'm Nate Harris. You can find me on Instagram and everywhere on social media at Royal Nate. ROYAL Nate. But don't forget the underscore, please.
I'm Amir Yassai, AMIR Yas, YASS, and please don't forget the underscore at the end. Thanks, Nate.
So I have no underscore, but you can find me at California.
All right, and that's another episode down. Until next week, buzz you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.